Lando Norris has cemented his place among the Formula One race winners with his triumph at the Miami Grand Prix, finally ending his quest for a maiden visit to the top step of the F1 podium. The McLaren driver crossed the finish line with a 7.6-second advantage over Max Verstappen, executing a strategy that heavily relied on medium tires and capitalized on a safety car period to pedal ahead of the three-time world champion. Dispelling the disappointment of his near-miss in the 2021 Russian Grand Prix at Sochi, Norris' victory appeared to be well received among the rest of the grid, with the Briton receiving plenty of congratulations from his rivals as he completed arguably his most memorable stroll through Parc Ferme. "I've always had respect for everyone I race against, from the top to the bottom of every category I've raced in since karting," Norris said. "I've always had respect for my competitors and the people I race against. And I've always said that. As much as when you put the helmet on you hate them and you want to beat them, and you don't care who's who, I've always had respect for the people I race against. So when someone comes up to me, especially people who have achieved a lot, because that always means a little bit more. So when Lewis, Fernando, Max, Charles, Carlos, whenever they come up to you or people have good words for you, I appreciate those things a lot, because to those people, they mean something. They're the people who know what it takes to achieve that sort of thing, by the work, by the time, by the effort required." Something like that. Who is Lando Norris? Lando Norris, hailing from the port city of Bristol, nestled between the mouths of the Avon and Severn rivers, is currently in his sixth season in F1 with McLaren, a team he has been associated with for a long time. McLaren signed Norris to their young driver program in early 2017, before his lone season in the now-defunct FIA Formula 3 European Championship. Contrary to popular belief, Norris insists he wasn't named after the Star Wars character Lando Calrissian. With Belgian heritage from his mother Siska, Norris competes under the British flag and grew up in Glastonbury, Somerset, renowned for its annual music festival held nearby in Pilton. This background led him to be a boarding student at Millfield, a private school known for its sporting contributions, where fellow racer Sam Bird also received his education. Initially uninterested in racing, Norris found himself drawn to Formula One through watching races with his father Adam, a Bristol-based businessman. After his victory in Miami, Norris expressed gratitude to his family for their support throughout his racing career, and to his grandmother for listening to the team radio. "I've already spoken to my mom and dad, which is always nice. Usually, my dad comes to the races, but not today, so I'm sure he's regretting it a bit. They've been with you from the start. They made everything happen. They were the ones who got me into racing, supported me, and allowed me to get to Formula One, to achieve my dream and do whatever it takes. I've loved it since I was a kid. And I'm very fortunate for everything they've done and the position they've allowed me to be in. Think about those moments, and so, of course, I want to speak to my mom and dad, first and foremost, because you've shared all those moments with them. And I'm just so grateful. And for my grandma, because she hasn't been very well lately. I saw her last week and told her I was going to win a race. I didn't say when. Just said I was going to win a race, and I didn't think that would happen so soon. But it did." Norris's racing journey unveiled. Exposed to the thrill of racing through the Gran Turismo video game series, Lando Norris's passion for racing took root when he accompanied his brother Ollie to watch the British Karting Championship at Clay Pigeon, the karting track near Dorchester where Jenson Button began his career. "It was me, I wanted to try," Norris exclaimed to the Formula 2 website in 2018. "Shortly after, I bought a Bambino kart to drive at home, and that's where it all began." Norris embarked on his karting journey, and by 2013, he was already competing on a global scale. There, he clinched victory in the junior class of the CIKFIA European Championship, the same year Max Verstappen triumphed in the superior KF2 category, and secured the win in the CIKFIA World Championship in 2014. What's Norris's junior racing record? In parallel with his endeavors in the Karting World Championship, Norris entered the Ginetta Juniors Championship, a series supporting the British Touring Car Championship package. At the age of 14, Norris made his televised debut in the UK, behind the wheel of a Ginetta G40 in a full circuit race for the first time. Initially slated to participate only in the second half of the season, Norris ended up competing in the entire championship, finishing third behind future GT drivers Jack Mitchell and James Kellett. In 2015, Norris transitioned to another BTCC undercard event, the MSA Formula, built from the ashes of the defunct British Formula Ford Championship as the FIA launched its Formula 4 class worldwide. This marked Norris's first stint with Carlin, where he outpaced Ricky Collard and Colton Herta for the title and moved up to the Formula Renault 2.0 Championship. His campaign there was preceded by the Toyota Racing Series in New Zealand in the spring of 2016, which Norris convincingly won over former karting rival Jahan Daruvala. This victory was followed by titles in the Eurocup and NEC Formula Renault 2.0 championships, driving for the Joseph Kaufmann racing team, before reuniting with Carlin for a shot at the 2017 European Formula 3 Championship. Emerging as a future star with his championship victories, Norris inked a deal with the McLaren Young Driver Program, one of the early business moves under the new CEO Zak Brown's leadership at McLaren. Against stiff competition from second-year driver Joel Eriksson and third-year contender Maximilian Günther, Norris claimed 9 wins to clinch another title with 2 races to spare, naturally securing the Rookie Championship along the way. This propelled Norris into Formula 2, showcasing its new 2018 F2 chassis. Carlin exited the series, then known as GP2, at the end of 2016, but returned a year later, with Norris joined by Sergio Sette Camara at the British outfit. A stint with Campos at the end of 2017 gave Norris a taste of what to expect, and the Briton continued to impress in early testing to establish himself as a championship contender. Prior to his full rookie year in F2, Norris competed in the Daytona 24 Hours alongside Fernando Alonso and Philip Hansen for United Autosports, Brown's endurance racing outfit. Regarded as one of F2's best seasons due to the depth of talent, 2018 saw Norris in a tight battle, winning the season opener in Bahrain against Art's George Russell and Anglo-Thai driver Alex Albon, who turned a race-by-race deal with Dams into a full season due to a strong start. Despite a strong start with a win at the Bahrain season opener, his last victory in any category before the Miami GP win, Norris didn't reach the top step again in 2018 and maintained his championship pursuit through consistency, though a puncture at the rain-affected Sochi round dashed his title hopes before the field turned to the finale at Yas Marina. Russell claimed the crown as Albon was eliminated in a stall incident at the start line, a frequent feature of the 2018 F2 car due to clutch issues. Nevertheless, Norris impressed enough in F2 and a series of FP1 sessions for McLaren to promote him to F1 in 2019, replacing Stoffel Vandoorne in the team. How did Norris perform in F1? Norris was paired with Carlos Sainz in 2019, with the Spaniard signing on to replace compatriot Fernando Alonso in the latter's first retirement from F1. The two quickly formed a strong friendship and joined forces to help McLaren climb up the grid after a string of lean years with Honda engines and troublesome cars. In his F1 debut at Albert Park, Norris qualified 8th and finished 12th, following it up with his first points by finishing 6th in Bahrain. He amassed 49 points in his rookie season, as McLaren made significant strides with their MCL 34, almost half of Sainz's tally that year. His sophomore season was happier, despite the impact of COVID, and he secured his maiden podium at the Red Bull Ring opener. This time, he finished just 8 points behind Sainz before the Madrid-born drivers moved to Ferrari in 2021. Retained by McLaren for a third season, Norris partnered with Daniel Ricciardo for 2021, considered his sternest test in F1 yet, as the Australian was still highly rated at the time. However, Norris outperformed the former Red Bull driver and secured all 5 of the team's podiums, bar one, though that one likely stung the most. In a crazy Italian Grand Prix, where title rivals Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton collided at the chicane, Ricciardo took the lead, and Norris was instructed to play rear gunner against pursuer Valtteri Bottas. McLaren thus secured their first 1-2 result since the 2010 Canadian Grand Prix. Norris had the chance to win the next race in Sochi and secured Sainz's first pole. While the Ferrari driver took the lead at the start, Norris regained it on the 13th lap and managed the race well, holding off Lewis Hamilton until the rain started to fall. Hamilton seized the opportunity to pit for intermediates, while Norris, anticipating a short shower, chose to stay out. This decision proved overconfident, and he lost a lot of time to Hamilton while struggling on slicks, and eventually aquaplaned off the track to squander a chance of victory. Norris's approach to racing in F1? In addressing the media, Norris consistently demonstrates a self-deprecating and cautious approach when discussing his prospects. Even after strong performances, he appears to be a natural pessimist, instead drawing attention to his own weaknesses rather than opting for self-aggrandizement. Reflecting on this after his victory in Miami, Norris asserted that this serves as a source of motivation. "I have my moments where I'm pleased with what I'm capable of doing. I'm just one of those guys who doesn't feel content when I know I haven't done the job I'm capable of," he said. And, "This victory shows what I'm capable of. I think throughout the year, I've done a really good job. And I've worked hard and eliminated and got rid of a lot of my weaknesses." While Norris has committed his long-term future to McLaren, His first foray into the ground effect regulations required for 2022 wasn't entirely successful, managing just one podium throughout the year, at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix in Imola. 2023 started even more disastrously, with only 12 points scored in the first 8 races, but Norris benefited from a much-improved car at the Austrian round to kickstart a season where he secured 7 podiums in Grand Prix races. His first victory had to wait once again, as Oscar Piastri won in the Qatar Sprint. This brings us to 2024, and Norris's best career start to an F1 championship season with 3 podiums, including his victory at the Miami Grand Prix. After leaving China with second place, Norris had the unwanted record of holding the most podiums, 15, without a win. This record now reverts to Nick Heidfeld. I'll still be that guy. I don't think that's going to change. That's what works for me. That's my mindset. Everyone has their own way of doing things, their own approach, their own way of talking to themselves and thinking, how can I tackle today? How can I go out and do the best job? For me, it's to talk down on myself and sort of put myself down because to me, that's what works, and I'm okay with that. I don't need other people to be happy with it and for other people to agree with it. It's what's best for me, and what works best is what's made me who I am, and I think that's my best way to move forward. So I'll have my days where the cup is full and I can be happy and proud of myself. Everyone will have those days and everyone should have those days. But to become the best, the top dog, I have my way of doing things, and I stick to it.